Okay, so let's wait for like 2-3 more minutes for others to join. Hello, Shagnik. Hello. Hello. Hi, Shagnik.
Yeah.
Okay. So, can you please join the in the Google Meet link I sent you over email?
Oh, okay.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. Shall we start slowly, maybe? Uh, and first we will basically recap what we did in the last class, like last 10 minutes of that class. Okay. Is the screen visible? Hello.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay. And I'm audible. I mean clearly. Okay. So I'll start the recording and so the recording is going on. Okay. Good. Okay. Okay. So we start where we stopped last time. So we started with this table matching problem with tied preference list SMT. Okay, so and we had three types of stable matchings. One was weakly stable, one was strongly stable, and one was super stable matching. And now we are going to basically define what are these three types of matchings. Okay, so I have the definitions over here. So definitions are visible, right?
Sorry, I can't see your screen.
Uh, uh, okay, I'll just stop the sharing and I will start again. Uh, is it visible now? Hello, is it visible now?
No, okay. I think I've pinned the other
Yeah.
version of you, so I'll pin the. Okay, I see. Okay, sorry, I'll just do that.
Okay. Okay. So the
No, it
screen.
is visible.
Sorry.
Means your screen is visible.
Okay, okay, great. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
you can see the definition.
yeah. I can see it now. Yes.
I have written down the proper definition, and I'll just check if anybody joined after. I'll just keep this tab open. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So a matching is weakly stable if it doesn't contain any blocking pair MW such that forget about this one. MW says that uh, M prefers W over his current partner and W. Okay, so this definition is little bit unclear. Okay, so the first one is a, a matching N is said to be weakly stable if it doesn't contain any blocking pair in MW. And what is a blocking pair here? A weakly stable matching.
So
MW is,
basically, in case of weakly stable matching, there cannot be equality in
yeah,
preference.
yeah. So basically, this is a blocking pair there. If MW is a blocking pair, if M prefers W over his current partner strictly, suppose it is W prime, and W also prefers M over his current partner strictly. In the if this kind of edge is present, then MW is a blocking pair in weakly stable matching. Weakly stable matching. Okay. And what is a strongly stable matching? In a strongly stable matching, if this kind of scenario happens that M strictly prefers W over his current partner and W strictly prefers M over his over her current partner, then also it is a blocking pair. Moreover, if it happens that at least one side, at most one side, like have a equality. Suppose MW is there and W is indifferent between M and her current partner, that is suppose M prime, and M strictly prefers W over his current partner, that is suppose W prime. In that case, it is a blocking pair in the strongly stable matching. So MW,
So here equality is in only in at most one side, right?
yeah, at most in one side, blocking pair in strongly
It is
stable,
strongly stable, right?
yeah,
Okay, okay.
strongly stable matching, but it is not a blocking pair in the weakly stable matching. In weakly stable matching.
No, but if it is exactly one equality, then it cannot be a blocking pair in weakly stable. But otherwise, it can be an equality.
Uh,
It can be blocking in weakly stable.
no, because there is one equality on one side, that's why it cannot be a blocking pair in the weakly stable matching.
No, 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 no. I just want to know in the definition of blocking pair for a strongly stable, equality is in at most one side or in exactly one side?
At most one side.
At most one side, okay.
Yeah, weakly stable matching.
So if it is in exactly one side, then it is a blocking pair in strongly stable, but not a blocking pair in weakly stable.
Yeah, and this one is basically, so basically I can write down in the next page here. So let's BP called blocking pair of weakly stable matching implies blocking pair in strongly stable matching.
Sir, is this recording?
Yeah, I'm recording over this what is it called, Bandicam. So yeah,
Okay.
it is recording from both sides, my
Okay.
microphone and this speaker. Okay.
So Pratik, so will you share these notes in Moodle finally?
Yes. So I have missed only the last one, like this Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah. So
So you'll upload both. So you'll upload both the quiz days as well as this one, right?
yeah. So I'll complete this and I'll upload it today. Okay.
Okay.
So blocking pair into weakly stable matching implies blocking pair in strongly stable matching. Suppose it's called ST, and that implies a blocking pair in super stable matching. Okay. Maybe I should write it a little bit fuller. Not in strongly stable matching, in super stable matching. Okay. So this is the definition of a blocking pair in the super stable matching. Okay. And what is the blocking? What is the structure of a blocking pair in the Sorry, that was a strongly stable matching. What is the structure of a blocking pair in a super stable matching? Suppose MW is there, and previous thing also is a blocking pair in the super stable matching. And moreover, if M is indifferent between W and his current partner W prime, and W is also indifferent between M and his current partner M prime, then also it is a blocking pair in super stable matching. It is a okay. So is the definitions clear? What is the definition of blocking pair in the weakly and strongly and super stable matching?
But I have one question.
Yeah.
So we have not considered the case where, for example, M could be. So if you go to the diagram for strongly stable,
Yeah.
so we have not considered the case where M could be indifferent to W prime,
Yeah.
and W could be like, okay, just a equality below M is what I'm saying. Yeah,
Yeah.
minus and equal.
Yeah, this can also happen. I mean, this is like one side has this property and other side has the strict property. Okay. So let's take let's take a look at some examples. Okay, small
So
examples.
Pratik, I have a question.
Yeah.
So if a matching is suppose weakly stable but not strongly stable, it
Yeah.
means that there is a blocking pair in which there is equality on exactly one side, right?
Yes.
We can say it.
Yeah, we can say that. Yeah, that is true.
And similarly, in weakly
or-
stable but not stable, then there is a blocking pair with with equality on exactly two sides.
Yeah, exactly two sides. Yeah, we can say that. Yeah, because if it is exactly one side, then it will be a blocking pair in the strongly stable matching. So basically, you can say that if a matching is a super stable, it is also a strongly stable matching and a weakly stable matching, right? Hello.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that is clear.
Yeah, why it is true? Because for the weakly stable matching, the blocking pair cannot have this type of scenario in the blocking pair. But for a strongly stable matching, they must satisfy. They cannot have these three types of blocking pair. And for a super stable matching, it cannot have any of these following type of blocking pair. So that's why, I mean, if a matching is a super stable matching, then it cannot have any type of the blocking pair that we have defined for weakly stable and the strongly stable matching. So if a matching is a weakly stable, super stable matching, it is a strongly stable matching, and also if a matching is a strongly stable matching, then it is a weakly stable matching. So I'll just write it down here. M is super stable implies M is strongly stable implies M is
So basically, I have a question. So in our original example, we had a complete preference list. Means the preference list is totally ordered in some sense.
Yeah.
Here it is not, because we have ties among the. Okay, so we have ties. So in the original context, these definitions means basically definitions of super stable, weakly stable, and strongly stable. They all coincide, right?
Yes, of course, because the equality is not there anymore.
Equality is not there. Okay.
Yeah.
So whenever equality is appearing, we have three new definitions.
Yeah, yeah, and if you take a strict preference list, then you can see that all three definitions are the same.
All three definitions are the same. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So this equality, if I want to write the definitions properly, I'll just okay. So I think it will be better if I write down the definition properly. Okay. So blocking pairs, I'll just write it here. Pairs weakly stable matching. Suppose first I am writing weakly stable matching. Okay. MW is a blocking pair. If M strictly prefers W over Okay, so the definition of the blocking pair in a weakly stable matching is clear. If MW is a blocking pair, we say that M strictly prefers W over his current partner, and strictly prefers M over her current partner. Okay, so what is the weakly stable matching? Strongly stable matching. Or I think you can write the rest of the part. Okay, so what is a strongly stable matching? If MW is a blocking pair in the strongly stable matching, if M weakly prefers W over his current partner, by weakly prefers I mean there can be the W either is tied with his current partner, or M strictly prefers W over his current partner. Okay, by that I mean weakly prefers. Okay, so M weakly prefers W over his current partner, and W strictly prefers M over her current partner. Or there can be the other case that M strictly prefers W over his current partner, and W weakly prefers M over her current partner. So is the definition of blocking pair in a strongly stable matching clear? Any questions here? Hello.
Yes, it is clear to me.
Okay. Okay, and I think you can also write what will be the definition for a blocking pair in super stable matching. So I am not writing that.
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah.
So, can we say that M is a super stable matching if and only if M is stable in all the so for example, so we have a indifference list, and suppose we put a strict order in an arbitrary way, like we extend that indifference list to a complete order.
Yeah.
Then can we say that something is super stable if and only if it is stable in all the complete orders?
Yes, that is actually true, and basically you find yeah, that is correct. If it yeah, sorry, continue please.
No, please, yeah.
No, so yeah, you are absolutely correct that if a matching is super stable, if it is stable, and if you break the ties in any arbitrary order, the matching will remain stable.
Will remain stable. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it is true because because what you are doing, if there is equality, then also you are saying that in the side of men and the women both, then also you are saying it is a it is a it is not a super stable matching. That's why this definition will work also. So is the definition clear, like of the alternate definition of the super stable matching to everyone else?
Yes.
So Pratik, can you repeat what he said? Means I just could not follow. Means regarding super stable.
Okay, maybe Shubham can say it. Repeat it once.
Okay, no, I'm saying that if something is super stable, then if something is super stable, then it will remain stable no matter how you complete the partial no matter how you complete the list which has indifference. So the list has indifference, and in that M is super stable. Now if you complete that list in any arbitrary way to a total order, then it will remain stable there, and the converse should also be true. Like if it is stable in all possible completions, then it will be super stable in the indifference list.
Means you mean with respect to the given ties?
Yeah. So basically,
Yes, obviously, yeah.
what he means is, suppose let's say.
So basically, we are taking the ties arbitrarily, right?
No
Yeah.
matter how you break the ties, it will remain stable. That's
Yes.
good way, I think.
So
Okay.
suppose this is a preference list. So one way to break the tie can be like W1 comes before W2, and then W3, W4, and W5. Another way can be like W2 comes before W1, W3, W4, and W5. And in this way, you can see that you can get two more by putting W5 before W4. So there are like four preference list of M, depending on how you are breaking the ties. So I'll just write it down.
So what he is saying, basically, it will be a super stable in this incomplete preference list, if and only if it is a stable matching in each of these complete preference list.
Exactly. Not incomplete, but it is tied, and this is called strict.
Yeah, tied and strict. Means it will be super stable in tied, if and only if it is a stable matching in each of these strict preference list.
Yes. And if you take all possible combination of, if you take break the ties in any order for any applicant, any men or any women, then the matching that you got, the super stable matching that you got from the original instance will be a stable matching here.
Yeah. Means you have to take all possible combinations of the ties.
Yeah.
Sir, so will this imply that super stable matching cannot be calculated in polynomial time? Because there will be so many ways to break the ties.
No. Super stable matching, there is a polynomial time.
Oh.
Okay. So, and that is quite easy actually. I have to, okay. So I was checking some papers. So that paper can be one of the paper that you can present. So I have listed down 4 or 5. So I will find 2, 3 more, and then I will send it to you. Okay. So super stable matching, strongly stable matching, and weakly stable matching all can be computed in polynomial time. And one more thing is, so if you consider the super stable matching with incomplete, yes.
Yeah, I have a question. So I just want to clarify Shubham's point. So he is saying that it is a super stable matching in the tied one.
Yeah.
If and only if it is a stable matching in each of these complete preference list.
Exactly.
I just want to remark on one thing. So means will it be in all of these complete, or it will be in some complete preference list? It will be a stable matching.
It should be complete in all.
So
it should be stable in all.
It's not, the preference list are not complete. What we are doing, we are just breaking the ties in any order. Suppose W1 and W2, W3 are tied for the top position for some M. Then we are just breaking the ties in some arbitrary order. And we are saying that if we break it in any order, then also it is and we check the matching M on that particular instance where we have the strict preference list, then M is a stable matching there. That's what I am to say. Okay.
But I still have a question. Regarding Shubham's.
Sure.
Can you explain why this is so? Because I am saying that it will be stable in some of these, not all of these.
Because suppose it is not stable in one of this. So what does that mean? Okay, so I will give you a sketch of the proof here. Suppose M is not stable in some S, some stable matching instance S, after you break the ties and get a strict preference list. After you break ties. Okay. So there is a blocking pair, of course, and MW is suppose the blocking pair. So if what is the definition of a blocking pair in the strict preference list? M prefers W over his current partner, W prefers M over her current partner, right? And if it is case, then in the super stable instance, if we now go back to the super stable instance, if M strictly prefers W or W strictly prefers M, then it is still a blocking pair. Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I'm listening. I'm listening. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Till this part is clear, right? This is a blocking pair.
Yeah. Means the MW is a blocking pair in the stable matching.
In the strict preference list, fine. And now
Yeah. In the preference list, yeah.
let's compare W and W prime in the preference list of M in the super stable matching instance. Okay. So there can be two cases. One can be M strictly prefers W to W prime, and the second case can be M is
So basically, this you are saying for the super stable, right?
yeah, in the super stable matching instance, what can be the two possibilities? Either M can strictly prefer W over W prime, or M is indifferent between W and W prime. It cannot be the case that M strictly prefers W prime over W.
Okay, then it is clear why it can be a blocking pair in super stable.
Yeah. So this is the only two cases that can happen, and in both cases, and it will the same thing will happen for W. I'll just write down here the same cases will happen for W. So that means M basically weakly prefers W over W prime. If they are equal, then if they are, if M strictly prefers W over W prime, then of course we are done. If M weakly prefers, M is indifferent between W and W prime, then there is equality. And similarly, the same thing is happening on the W side. And combining all of this, we can see that it is basically a blocking pair. MW is a blocking pair in the super stable matching.
So what you're saying is MW is a blocking pair in the super stable. No matter what of one or two happens, any of them will give you that MW is a blocking pair in the super stable case.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
Can you see why?
So if one happens, then it's already weakly, like it's already a weakly blocking pair.
Yeah.
Whereas if two happens, then it's indifferent. But then again, it's a blocking pair with the criteria for the super stable match.
Exactly. And okay, so I have written down one thing like strictly prefers and weakly prefers here. So basically, you can understand what is a strictly prefer, right?
It means that either there is a strictly means a strict preference, and
And these two basically means weakly prefers.
Okay, correct. So M either strictly prefers W prime or it's indifferent. Correct.
Yeah.
Which means
Weakly prefers, and we can see that here M is weakly preferring W over W prime, and W is, I am not writing here, but W is also weakly preferring M over M prime. And what is the definition of, okay, I have not written down. So what is the blocking pair in a super stable matching? M weakly prefers W over W prime, and W weakly prefers M over M prime. So I'll just write it down.
So will this proof also work for strongly stable matching, not just
No,
super...
No, it will not work. Strongly stable matching is way complicated.
I see.
But it is polynomial time solvable.
Okay.
So basically, the definition of weak preference is that it includes the definition of
Equality.
strong preference as well as the indifference.
Exactly. I think now it will be, the whole thing will be clearer to you.
Yeah. Now it has become clear to me. Okay.
I see. So this proof does not work for strongly stable because you can have case 2 happening for the man and the woman. In that case, it will be a blocking pair in the super stable sense,
Mhm.
but not in the strongly stable sense.
Yes. Yeah.
If the case
Okay.
two- like
Okay.
if-
Okay. Sorry, I did not understand. Maybe you can repeat it once. So I'll just write
No,
down.
so I was trying to think that so we said that if so we said that super stable if and only if in any completion
Mhm.
there is it is also weakly stable in any completion. So I
Mhm.
was thinking, can we say that strongly stable if and only if in any completion, like any breaking of ties, it remains weakly stable.
Mhm.
But I don't think that's true because you can have case 2 in both men and women, in which case
Yes.
that will be a blocking pair in the super stable sense, but not in the
Exactly. Yeah, you're absolutely correct. So basically, suppose M is M and if for M, W and W prime has the same preference in the strongly stable, and W and W sorry, the M and M prime also have the same preference. So for M, suppose it is like W prime. You're absolutely correct. W has like M comma M prime. Now, if you choose like M and W has the better rank than M prime and W prime, then it is a blocking pair here. But it is not a blocking pair in the original instance.
yeah. I mean, it's not a blocking pair with respect to a strongly stable criteria.
Exactly. You're
Yeah.
correct. So I'll just write down here MW is not a VP in strongly stable matching. So nice. So one thing it can I think it can be intuitive because we have seen that a super stable how can we what is the property of a super stable matching? It is that if we take any if we break the ties in any order for any men or women, then the matching will remain a super stable matching in the strict preference case, right? So from here actually we can say that the size of the super stable matching, if we consider, okay, so one more thing first, this weakly stable, strongly stable, and super stable matching, they will also work for when there is a incomplete list. So we call that as a SMTI. So a stable matching instance with ties and incomplete list. Okay. So this is just a generalization of SMT problem. Okay.
So this means that if W is not on M's list, then M
Yeah.
would prefer to be not married instead of be with W.
Exactly, and we have ties
Okay.
also. So this is like the most general case, tied with ties and incomplete list. So, and we have seen that in SMI problems, stable matching with incomplete list, if a man is matched in one stable matching, he gets matched in every stable matching. And if a man is unmatched in a stable matching, he remains unmatched in every stable matching. So since this super stable matching and the normal stable matching with strict preference have a nice property between them, so nice relation between them, so that's why it will be true that in a super stable matching, if the matching exists, then if a man is matched in one super stable matching, then he will be matched in every super stable matching. So this property will be basically extended to
Pratik, can you give an example of such a stable matching with ties and incomplete lists?
okay, so I'll give you now. So I'm just saying about this super stable matching. So I was going to go to example. So let's first check an example where the super stable matching doesn't exist. But okay, so one more thing. Sorry, before I go to example, a weakly stable
I
matching.
have another question. So regarding incomplete list, so suppose if the preference list of some man is incomplete,
Yeah.
then can we make it complete by simply taking the women who is not in that list, and
Yeah.
I will keep all those women in a single tie and keep
Yeah.
it at the end of M's list.
Yeah, he can do that, but in that case, he may get matched to one of them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, but these definitions of weakly stable, strongly stable, they're all meant for complete list, right? Complete list and ties.
no. That's what I said. First, I defined it for complete list, but you can also extend it to for the incomplete list. That's what I just said.
Okay.
SMTI. You can extend this definition for the incomplete list also. So I'm not writing down explicitly, but I think you can understand, right? It will be, I think, easier. Okay. So let's go to an example. So suppose there are two people, and each of them has like a ties at the rank 1. So will there be a super stable matching here? Anyone?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, because if you take any matching, suppose M1 W1 and M2 W2, it will give us a blocking pair, because every unmatched edge, suppose M1 W2, W2, they have equality on both sides, so it is no super stable matching. But there exists the strongly stable matching. Any matching here, any perfect matching here is a strongly stable matching, right?
So Pruthvi, I think it will be M1, right? So you have so basically, I just want to clarify one thing. So the matching you are taking is M1 W1 and M2 W2,
Yeah.
and we will show that it is a super stable matching.
There is no super stable matching here,
There is no super stable. How?
because for M1 and W1, M1 and M2, the preference list is basically W1 and W2 tied at the first position, and this is the same for each of them, right?
No, it is not clear to me.
Oh, okay. Just let me write it down properly then. So what is the preference list, first of all? So for M1, it is W1 and W2 at the first position, right? For M2, it is the same. For W1 also, it is M1 and M2 in the first position. For W2 also, it is the same. Now is it clear, the preference list of each person?
Yeah. Preference is clear. Yeah.
So now if you compute a stable matching here, suppose a matching, let's take any matching. I took M1 W1 and M2 W2. Okay.
Yeah, but I think so. You want to show that M1 W and M2 W2 is not a super stable matching.
Yes.
So basically, the blocking pairs may be either M1 W2 or M2 W1 in this case.
Yeah. So
For M1 W2, I think it will be their M1. Means it
oh,
will
sorry.
be M2. I think it will be M2 instead of W2. Yeah.
Yeah. That is true. Sorry. Yeah, correct. But M1 W2 is a blocking pair here, right? Is it clear why M1 W2 is a blocking pair?
Yes.
Okay. And if you take any matching, I mean, you can see it is like a, I mean, if you take any matching here, that will have a blocking pair. Any unmatched edge will be a blocking pair always, because of this equality. Okay, so there is no super stable matching, but there is a strongly stable matching, because if you take this particular matching, it is a strongly stable matching. So one thing is, may not exist. Just 1 minute. Okay, and similarly, you can prove that. You can find an example where, for a given instance,
So I have a question.
yeah,
So in this instance, there are only two types of matchings possible. One is which you have shown M1 W and M2 W2.
yeah,
For which M1 W2 is a blocking pair, so that's why it is not a super stable matching.
yeah.
But another possibility is that it could be M1 W2, M2 W1.
Yeah, that is true. That's why I just said, if you take any unmatched edge here, it will be a blocking pair. If you take any matching and any unmatched edge in that matching, it will be a blocking pair.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah, that's why I just said. That's why I said that there is no super stable matching. You can go over all possible matchings, but it is like basically redundant. You can just see it from here. Okay, and also there is so what is happening here? So for a given instance, a super stable matching may not exist. Okay, and also this thing is also true for the strongly stable matching. So there can be some instance where a strongly stable matching doesn't exist. Okay. So I forgot to get the example, so I can write down the example and I can show it to you in the next class. What is a example of that? But there are some there may be some instance where a strongly stable matching may not exist. Okay, or we can keep it as a problem for our homework or something. Okay, but for a given instance, a weakly stable matching always exists.
So this is because you can break the ties in any way, and if it is stable there, then it will be weakly stable
Yes.
in at least one.
Yes, so basically, what you are doing in the algorithm, you just basically use the Gale-Shapley algorithm. But what you do is you can break the ties in any order, because you know that it is not a blocking pair if there is equality on one side, at least one side.
So weakly stable is like union of stable matchings, and strongly stable is like intersection across
No,
different.
it is not clear how if we just break the ties and applying Gale-Shapley will give us a weakly stable.
Because
See, when you have broken the ties, it has become a strict preference list.
Yeah.
So there we will obviously get a stable matching
Yeah.
in the Gale-Shapley algorithm. But if we see that matching in the original instance, it
Yeah.
may not be stable because it may be that there is equality on some side.
Yeah, but
Means-
so okay, so let's say that aim is a stable matching after we break the ties. Okay, now suppose M is not a stable matching in the weakly stable matching. In that case, what will happen? That
Sorry,
yeah.
so M is a sorry. What do you mean by so? Do you mean weakly stable or strongly stable?
Sorry. Okay, let's understand the question first. Maybe then I'll go here. Okay, so what is the question, Aranya? Again?
So my question is, what we are doing
Yeah.
means to prove this thing that for a given instance, weakly stable matching always exists. We are breaking the ties arbitrarily.
Yeah.
And after breaking the ties, we get a strict preference list.
Yeah.
We are applying the Gale-Shapley algorithm and finding a stable matching.
Yeah, and that matching will be a stable matching here.
Weakly stable matching.
Weakly stable matching here. Yeah.
But my question is why it will be weakly stable matching here?
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
okay. I think I understood the question now. Okay.
Okay, so suppose not. Okay. So suppose M is not a weakly stable matching. That means there is a blocking pair. MW. Always go in this direction. So if it's not weakly stable, there is a blocking pair. So what is the property of MW? M strictly prefers W over W prime, and W also strictly prefers M over M prime. Right?
Yes, and this is with respect to the original preference list.
Original
the
pre-
incomplete list. Yeah.
with respect to the weakly stable matching instance.
Yeah, correct.
And this strict ordering will also hold for the when you are breaking the ties arbitrarily.
Yeah. It will
And-
also hold them big.
Yeah, I
were
understood.
not tied in the new matching. So in the old matching, in the new
Yeah.
matching, also they have to be.
So I'll write here. So M strictly prefers. Okay, so let's say that
Basically, here M strictly prefers W over W prime in the tied version.
yeah.
So that's why M will strictly prefer W over W prime in the original version also.
Oh, not original but strict version.
Yeah. I mean in the strict version, yeah, it
Okay,
must be.
okay. So suppose S is the tied version. I'll just write it down for you later. S prime is the strict version. So MW is a blocking pair in S. That implies MW is a blocking pair in S prime. But but we knew that the matching in S prime was a stable matching, so we have a contradiction. Then we have a contradiction, right? So is it clear?
Yeah, essentially the preference
This is clear to me.
only go up when you go from S to S prime. So if you have a blocking pair in S, you will also have the same thing in S prime.
Sorry, I could not hear you. Can you repeat it once?
I mean, I'm saying that you're just introducing more strict preferences when you go from S to S prime. So
Yeah.
if there is a blocking pair in S prime, that also automatically is a blocking pair in S.
Exactly, because the strict ordering between among the partners, that remains when you
Yeah.
break the ties. Okay.
Yeah.
So what we have seen is, so basically a matching is a super stable matching. That means if you break the ties in any order, that will remain a stable matching in the original instance. And a matching is a weakly stable matching if there exists one tie breaking such that M remains a stable matching in the strict instance, right? So basically for the super stable matching, the matching has to be stable for all possible
Pratik, can you write the last statement which you just said? So if M is a super stable, then in
Yeah.
all the tie breaking, it will be a stable matching.
Yeah.
But if it is a weakly stable matching, then in at least one tie breaking, it will be stable matching, right?
Yes. M is a super stable in if it is stable in every tie breaking. So I think it will be understandable, right?
Yeah, it is understandable.
Okay. And M is weakly stable if only if I guess there exists one tie breaking. Oh, sorry. Where it is stable.
So what about if M is strongly stable?
That is in the middle. So there is nothing like this there. I mean,
So basically, can we say that the number of tie breakings in which it is becoming stable will increase from weakly stable to strongly stable to super stable?
can you repeat it once? Sorry, I could not get you.
So suppose what I want to say, suppose M is a weakly stable matching, means in a given SMI instance, suppose M1 is a weakly stable matching,
Yeah.
M2 is a super stable matching.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just messed up.
Strong.
In a given SMI instance, suppose M1 is weakly stable, M2 is strongly stable, and M3 is super stable. So what I want to say is that the number of tie breakings, suppose we look at the matching M1. And suppose for M1, the number of tie breakings in which it is becoming stable. So let it be N1. And for M2, similarly, it be N2. And for M3, it be N3. Then my point is that will it be the case that N1 is less than or equal to N2 is less than or equal to N3?
Yes, that will work. Yeah, that should work, right? Because if a matching M2 is a strongly stable matching, it is also a weakly stable matching. And okay, yeah, this will work because the type more number of tie breaking should must satisfy that property, must satisfy that is a stable matching. Yeah, that will work. So here it is like those there exist and for all thing. So there exists is happening for exact, there exists at least one is for weakly stable matching, and for all stable matching instance in the tie breaking is it is like the super stable matching, and the strongly stable matching is basically in the middle of those two. Okay, so I think this is clear, right?
So will strongly stable be strictly in between weakly stable and super stable in case of the number of tie breakings in which it is becoming stable?
Yes, that is true. Okay, so is this three types of matching clear to everyone, like Shagnik, Arvind?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay, great. So one more thing I want to say before I stop. Stop for stable matching problems. So one more, the last thing is, if you take SMI with SMI, sorry, SMI weakly stable. So we have seen that we can find a stable matching, and there always exists a stable matching, and we can find that stable matching in polynomial time, and that is also true for the strongly stable and super stable. But there is a interesting problem here. Suppose let's take these two this example. So suppose it is
But I have a question. So how can we? So in case of we can find a weakly stable matching simply by Gale-Shapley algorithm that we have seen
yeah,
in polynomial. But how can we find strongly stable and super stable?
those algorithms are little bit complicated. So one thing I was thinking is super stable is not that complicated. So I was thinking to put that paper for presentation for one person, that finding a super stable matching, and strongly stable is a little bit complicated one. So yeah, one person can present the weaker version of the strongly stable matching. There is a order, I mean, quadratic time solution, I think n to the power m to the power m square n to the power 4, and there is one n cube. So someone can present that one also. So will you be present, I mean, when someone else is presenting, I mean, will you be joining?
Yes.
Okay, so because I some
Yeah.
papers I will just uh, I mean, I'll give you that I'm not presenting here, like the finding an algorithm for super stable matching and such ones. Okay, and okay, so let me write down this example first.
So I have another question. So we have seen that means super stable matching may not exist or strongly stable may not exist
Yeah,
in any instance. So such an algorithm will report the non-existence, right?
exactly,
And if it exists, it will find one.
exactly.
Okay.
M1, M2. Okay, so this example is little bit interesting. So what have we learned from the stable matching with strict preferences about so when in the stable marriage instance every vertex gets matched, right? And in the when we have an incomplete list, the set of vertices who are not matched are the same over every stable matching. So that means the size of the stable matching remains the same. Okay, so here let's solve this problem for the weakly stable matching, and let's see what we get. Okay, so this is M2, and last one is M3. So can anyone try to solve this one? It is understandable, right? Hello.
Yeah. So you want weekly stable a weekly stable matching for this, right?
Weekly stable matching, and I want to go in a certain order of tie breaking. Okay, so suppose first we tie break, M1 proposes to W2, then M1 W2 is matched, right? I mean W2 accepts M1 because W2 is free right now. Now suppose M2 proposes to W3, so W3 accepts M2, right?
Yeah.
Next, suppose M3 proposes to W1, and W1 also takes M3. Now M4 proposes to W3, and we go to the list of M4, W3, and M4 is preferring W3 is strictly preferring M4 over M2. So we remove them and we break them, and now M2 is proposing to W1, and we can see that W1 prefers M2 over M3. So W1 prefers M2 over M3. So here what we get? And then M3 proposes to, suppose, W4. So what is the size of the stable matching now then? Here? 4. The size of the stable matching here is 4. So suppose this is M, this matching is called M equal to, this, and the size of the matching is 4. So now let's propose in a different order. Okay, so suppose M1 first proposes to W1, then what happens? Can any okay, now so M, let's say this is M prime. So W1 accepts M1 because W1 is free at this moment. Now suppose M2 proposes to sorry, now suppose M3 proposes to W1, not M2, but M3 proposes to W1, and we can see that W1 strictly prefers M1 over W1 strictly prefers M1 over M3, so W1 rejects M3. Now suppose M3 proposes to W3. Can you see that it is also a stable matching? Because now if you take M2 proposes to W3, and we can see that W3 prefers M3, so it rejects it. And if M2 proposes to W1, we can see that W1 has a tie between M1 and M2, so W1 doesn't leave M1 for M2, so it remains the same. And for M4, if M4 proposes to W3, then we can see that W3 is basically indifferent between M3 and M4. So again, W3 doesn't leave M3 for M4. So this becomes a stable matching, and you cannot find any blocking pair here.
Okay, so we are left with men who are free but who have proposed to everyone on their list. The algorithm stops.
Yeah. So what is the size of this stable matching? Is 2. So it means in a super stable, in a weakly stable matching instance, the size of the stable matching may not be the same. Okay, it depends on how you break the ties and what is the order of the proposal for you. It basically depends on that, right?
Sir, I had a question. So in
Yeah.
both the cases, did we run Gale-Shapley algorithm? We ran Gale-Shapley.
Yeah, we
didn't do it arbitrarily, right?
Sorry.
Sir, we didn't do it arbitrarily, right? Like we ran only through Gale-Shapley algorithm.
Yeah, we just ran Gale-Shapley algorithm. So
Okay.
shall I repeat it once how I did this for
No, sir. I thought I was confused. I was having doubt that if we did it arbitrarily or did we do it through algorithm? So it's fine now.
Oh, okay. So we did it for Gale-Shapley algorithm, but in the what we did, we changed the order of proposals. In the first one, M1 first proposed, then M2, then M3, and then M4. But here,
Okay.
first M1 proposed to W1, and then M3 proposed to W3. So that's why we get a different stable matching. So it depends on the how you are proposing. What is the order of proposal for you? Okay.
Okay.
So, and we have seen that the size of the stable matching may be different. So what can be a natural question in SMI weakly stable? What is the max for a given instance? Find a stable matching.
So I had a question. So the previous matching M, was it weakly stable?
Yeah,
So both M and M prime, they're weakly stable.
yes. Because I basically use the Gale-Shapley algorithm after breaking the ties, right?
Okay. Okay. So basically, depending on the order in which you bring the ties, size will matter. Size of the matching we are getting.
Exactly. Depending on the order we are breaking the ties. So for a given instance, find the stable matching of maximum size.
So, but for this, we have to check over all ways to complete the order.
Yes. So basically, what is the question here? So for a stable,
I think it will be find a weakly stable matching of maximum size.
find a weakly stable matching. Okay, yeah. Okay, sorry. Okay. Yeah. You are correct. Find a weekly. Yeah. Find the weekly stable matching, maybe.
So basically, effectively, we have to check all tie breakings and we have to run Gale-Shapley algorithm for every tie breaking, and then.
Okay.
But that
The sad. Okay, there is a sad thing. Sad thing is this problem is NP hard. So you know what is NP complete problems? Hello.
Yes.
I think you have done it in algorithms course. NP hard
Yeah.
problems.
Yes.
Yeah, so this problem is basically an NP hard problem to find a maximum size stable matching in a maximum size weakly stable matching from a SMT instance. Okay, so what can be our
It
next?
is because they have exponentially many tie breakings. We have to check for each one of them.
Exactly. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, but yeah, there is a reduction. I mean, nice reduction. I don't remember which what is the reduction, but I have to check it. Okay, but stable matching with ties, weekly stable matching of maximum size is NP hard. So what is our natural goal after the if I find a problem is NP hard, then our goal is to approximate the solution, right? So have you done any basic of approximation algorithm?
I mean, I have not done it, but I just know what an approximation is.
Okay, so
Up to a factor of optimize up to a
Yeah.
factor.
Jyoti, actually, I do not know anything about approximation algorithm.
okay. So I'll give you the basic
Yeah,
outline.
I don't know anything. I mean, as good as not knowing.
Okay. So I'll give you the outline. Okay. So suppose we have a problem. Suppose problem X, and the problem is suppose NP hard. Okay. Or it may not be NP hard also. I mean, it doesn't matter if it is NP hard or not. But suppose problem X, and it has an optimal solution. Suppose opt is the optimal solution.
So are we assuming minimization or maximization version?
Okay. So let's say maximization problem maybe. Okay, so opt is there. Opt is the optimal solution, and suppose you have a polynomial time algorithm that gives you a solution, but it is not an optimal one. So let's say that is alg. So the solution you get from a poly time algo. Okay, so it is clear that suppose the size of the optimal solution is n. And okay, so
So ALG is not a exact algorithm, right? It is only
yeah,
it,
it
okay,
is just a polytime algorithm that gives you some solution.
some
Not
solution. Okay,
yeah, not the suppose we are doing a maximization problem.
okay, maximization problem. Okay, so
Yeah,
ALG may not be the optimal always.
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
So alg is suppose a solution that is that gives you some solution. I'll give you an example after that. Then op divided by alg, it is the approximation ratio. Okay, or sometimes it is written in the other way around, alg divided by opt. Okay, so for example,
but the value of this ratio will depend on the instance, right? Because
no, no,
as
no,
we
no.
had,
So yeah, this will depend. So our goal is to find the ratio that is like I mean the worst case ratio. I mean for
okay, so do you
any
mean any upper bound or lower bound on this ratio?
exactly. So in the maximization here, you want to what you want to do? You want to find the what is the uh, maximum value of opt versus elk that can happen. Okay. Okay. So one example can be suppose take a vertex cover problem. So you know that vertex cover problem is NP hard.
Yeah.
Okay. Now if we take the if you find so what is the approximation algorithm? There is a two approximation algorithm. Okay. So what is that algorithm? If you find a maximal matching there, maximal or maximum? Let me remember. Okay.
I think it's maximal because I
Find a maximum matching.
for maximum.
Yeah. Find a maximum matching. Um, yeah. And
I think maximal will also work.
yeah,
Maximal instead of maximum.
yeah, maximal will also work there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So find okay. Let's say maximum for now. And take both endpoints. I have to remember it, so I have not prepared it for today. Endpoints of each match stage. So it will be a vertex cover, right?
So is there an algorithm to find a maximum matching in general graph in any graph?
Yeah, there is a polytime algorithm.
Okay.
It's called it's use Edmonds Blossom shrinking algorithm. Okay, so suppose size of the matching is m. Then
So why should this be a vertex cover? This
uh,
means this will any vertex cover size will be bigger than this, but why
no,
should this be?
No, 2 times. You're taking
No,
both the endpoints.
I think so. If M is a maximum matching, the set of all vertices saturated by M will be a vertex cover because its complement must be an independent set.
yeah, yeah. That's why you can also say maximal because this same thing works for maximal.
And
Okay.
maximal you can found by simple greedy technique.
Yeah, yeah, that is true. Okay, so is it clear why? So everybody knows what is the definition of a vertex cover.
Yeah.
You pick the vertices such that every edge is incident to that one of those vertex. If you pick all the vertices, delete those vertices, the remaining graph becomes an independent set. Okay. Okay, so find a maximum matching or maximal matching and take the both endpoints of each match stage. So in that case, what happens? Every edge must be incident. Okay, let's take maximum. Okay, it will be easier to explain. Every edge will be incident to at least one vertex it is a maximal matching. It is a vertex cover. Um,
And it will be two-factor approximation because every vertex cover has to pick at least one endpoint of each edge of maximal.
exactly, exactly, and opt must pick at least one endpoint of each matched edge. So that's why we have a two approximation. Is it clear why it is two approximation to everyone?
Yes.
So basically what we are doing, we are trying to find a algorithm for vertex cover which doesn't give us a optimal solution but gives us a close to optimal. So what we do, we find a maximum matching or maximal matching and take both endpoints for of each of the matched edge, basically the vertices which are saturated by that matching, and after that we claim that that is a vertex cover. Why? Because if it is not a vertex cover, then there will exist an edge whose both endpoints are not present in the set, and that will mean that that particular edge can be added to the matching and we can increase the size of the matching, and that will contradict the fact that the matching we have started with is a maximal matching. So this proves that this set is a vertex cover. Now we want to prove it is a minimum size vertex cover. No, no. Now we want to compare it with the minimum size vertex cover. So to compare it, we see that the edges that are present in the matching, they must one of its endpoint must belong to the set of the vertex cover. Otherwise, that edge will not be incident to any vertex in the vertex cover. To make that edge incident to some vertex in that vertex cover set, one of the two endpoints must belong to that set of vertex cover. If it belongs to and what is the size of the matching? Size of the match. If the size of the matching is m, our current vertex covered by the algorithm is of size 2n, and we have seen that the optimal must include at least m vertices, and that makes the size of the optimal must be bigger than, so and this gives us a 2 approximation because the size of the optimal must be bigger than m, whereas the size of the algorithm solution, the polytime solution is exactly 2m, so it gives us a 2 approximation. Okay, so this is the point. Okay, so let's finish this problem. Okay, so since we have learned that SMT is a NP hard to find a maximum size weakly stable matching. So there exist so there is a 3/2 approximation algorithm to find a weakly
Sir,
stable.
I think it will be 2/3 because now we are dealing with a maximization problem. So approximation ratio will be less than 1.
Okay, yeah, you can also say that. I mean, it depends on how you are taking the ratio.
Okay, fine.
Okay, so yeah, okay, and can you say that there is a okay? So this is the 3/2 approximation, and this the paper that contains this approximation, I will give one of you to present. This is not quite a hard one. This is uh, not, I mean, not too easy but not too hard also. Okay, so the second thing is let's do it a easier one. There is a 2 approximation. So one thing is that a stable matching is always a maximal matching. Can you see that why it is true? So I'll just give you a hint.
You mean stable or weakly stable?
Weakly stable.
Okay.
Weakly stable, or if you consider strict one, any stable matching. Sorry, any stable matching is a maximal one. Okay, if it exists, it will be a maximal matching. So this is a hint. So you can try to use this hint to solve it, and we can check the answer after the I mean in the next meeting at 3 p.m. Is it fine?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so because it's already 1:10, so
I think once we prove this in, it will follow basically because size of a maximal matching is already at least half the size of maximum matching.
exactly, you have to use that. So maybe you can try to complete the proof. The idea of the proof is exactly correct. So you can try to,
Here you mean weakly stable matching, right?
yeah, here in the weakly stable matching.
Okay. So basically, if we take a weakly stable matching M, we have to show that there cannot be any other weakly stable matching M prime which properly contains M.
Just one moment. I'll write down to ask for weakly stable matching in SMT. So what you want to prove is you want to show that, so you have a suppose optimal stable matching. Okay. Let me complete the proof then. You have almost done it. So we have this optimal solution for the weakly stable matching, and suppose there is a stable matching which has which is more than 2 times smaller than the optimal solution. Then you prove that the algorithm, the solution that we are getting from the algorithm, it is not a maximal matching.
It is not clear to me.
Okay. So let's go over one more time. Okay.
Wait, so are you proving the hint, or are you proving from the hint how we get the result?
So I'm trying to prove it from the hint.
Okay, from the hint.
Yeah. So we know that any stable matching is a maximal matching, right? And a maximum matching is the maximal. I mean, the biggest maximal matching is a maximum matching. Okay. So suppose we have an optimal solution for the weakly stable matching in a stable matching with ties instance, right? So if we take the optimal solution, it is also a maximal matching.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And the solution that we are getting from the algorithm, suppose some algorithm, or okay, don't say algorithm. Okay, so suppose if we take any other solution for the stable, any stable matching solution for that instance, that will also be a maximal matching. The optimal solution is a maximal matching, and if we take any solution, that will also be a maximal matching.
Yeah.
If both are maximal matchings,
Can you repeat the last point?
yeah, I'll repeat it. Okay, so the optimal solution is a maximal matching, that is clear.
Yeah.
And if we take any other solution for
So
that
optimal solution, it is maximum, so it must be maximal.
It may not be maximum, I think.
No, but when you are saying we are taking the optimal solution, optimal is by definition it must be maximum. So maximum matching is always the maximal matching.
Yeah, that is true. I'm saying that optimal stable matching solution, that I'm not sure if it will always be maximum or not.
Yeah, I mean, that won't be a maximum matching for the original graph without the preference list.
Yeah, that may not be.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm just saying. So suppose if you take the optimal solution, it is also a maximal matching.
Yeah, from the hint.
Yeah, and if you take any other stable matching in that weakly stable matching instance, that you can compute in a polynomial time, that will also be a maximal matching.
Yeah.
Both of them are maximal matching. So the ratio between size of the two maximal matching cannot be more than 2.
Yeah, I got it, because the size of maximal matching is at least half the size of maximum.
And the size of the maximum matching must be bigger than maximal matchings. So that's
Exactly.
why.
Yeah.
That's why the ratio of any size of the any two maximal matchings cannot be bigger than 2, and that's why there is a 2 approximation algorithm. So basically, what is the algorithm? You basically pick up any weakly stable matching from the stable matching with ties instance. That gives you a two approximation algorithm. So is it clear?
Or just pick up any weakly stable match. Okay.
Yeah.
That has to be within a factor of 2 of the optimal. Okay.
Yes, exactly. Because weakly
Because
stable.
both of them are between factor of 2 of the maximum match.
Exactly. And both
And-
of them are maximal matching. That's why.
Oh yeah, yeah. And the maximum matching is in the original graph without the preference case. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Both
Okay.
of them
And
are.
then any maximum matching is at most twice the maximum matching because of the same proof as the vertex cover.
Yeah, you can prove it by. I mean,
Can you write it? Can you write it? Actually, it is.
Okay, I'll write it down. So what do you want me to write down?
Means the
Control
proof of this fact. Why there is a two approximate algorithm for weakly stable matching.
Okay, so just one moment. So first is or suppose m opt is the optimal solution. Okay.
So you mean M opt is the optimal solution of stable matching, right?
Yeah, of weakly stable matching
Okay. Weakly stable matching. Okay.
of SMT.
Okay. So basically, M opt is a maximum sized weakly stable matching.
Yeah.
Okay.
M opt is the maximal matching. And suppose M alg.
No, means this part is not quite clear to me. So since M opt is a maximum sized, it must be a maximal, right?
M opt may not be maximum. I'm not sure if M opt is a maximum. Sometimes M opt may not be maximum. I'm not totally sure
No,
about that.
but you have defined M opt to be optimal solution, so it means it is a maximum sized.
A maximum
Oh,
size
okay.
stable matching, but maximum not maximum matching.
No, you have defined maximum size weakly stable matching.
Yeah, maximum size weakly stable matching, but not a maximum matching.
No, it did not be a maximum. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm just saying. So that's why I'm saying it will always be a maximal, but it may not be a maximum.
Okay.
Okay, now it's clear, right?
Okay, so when you are saying it is maximal, you mean maximal weakly stable, right?
No. Maximal.
No, you mean maximum in the original graph.
Maximal and maximum are in the graph.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, this maximal, you're all referring with respect to the strict preference list.
With no preference. With no
preference, right?
That's in the complete bipartite graph.
Yeah, but that is a complete bipartite graph. So if it is
Oh,
not
sorry, it's not
maximum, it
complete.
cannot.
Okay. So let's say SMTI.
Yeah.
What
Sorry,
is
it's not
SMTI
complete.
ties with incomplete?
Yeah. So
Okay.
then yeah. So if you take the optimal solution, it is a maximal matching on the underlined graph,
Yeah.
and M alg is also a maximal matching in the underlined graph because it's just a solution, just a stable matching.
Yeah.
So if you have two maximal matchings, the ratio of two maximal matching let's write it down here.
But it is not clear to me why MLG will be a maximal matching.
I have said that just one moment. Okay, I have not written it down, right?
Means what does the algorithm ALG do basically? So
Okay.
does it pick both endpoints?
So I think you have confused it a little bit. So I think I have confused you. Okay. So first thing is any stable matching that I have not written, but I said is a maximal matching. On the underlying graph.
Okay.
What is the underlying graph? The graph without the preferences.
So the underlying graph is not complete, right?
it may not be complete, right?
It may not be complete. Yeah.
Yeah, so any stable matching is a maximal matching in the underlying graph. Okay, that is the first thing. It is clear now. And why it is so? Because suppose it is not maximal, it is not, then there will exist an edge MW who are unmatched, where both M and W are unmatched, right?
Yes.
Now if we consider M and W, since MW edge is present in the graph, that means in the preference list of M, W is present, and in the preference list of W, M is also present.
But I have a question. You have mentioned that we are looking at the graph without preferences.
Yes. I'm saying the underlying graph is suppose not a maximal matching. Okay, the matching in the underlying graph. Okay, so we start with a stable matching in the, suppose we start with a stable matching in the graph. Okay, let me write it down properly. Just one moment. I'll erase this and I'll write it completely.
No, I think it's clear to me. If MW is an edge, then they have to be in the preference
Okay.
list
Yeah.
of each other.
Yeah. Okay. Let me write it down properly so it will be clearer. I think. Let G be the graph. G be the underlying graph. G be the graph. Okay. Bipartite graph with preferences. And MBA stable matching. Okay. Suppose H be the underlined graph of G without the preferences.
Okay. Yeah. Now it is clear to me. Yeah.
So basically you remove all the preferences and you have the graph H. The edges are the same, vertices are the same, only the preferences are not present in H. Okay. Now
Okay.
now suppose
Okay, now you are claiming that M is a maximal matching in H.
exactly
Okay, I got it. Okay.
maximal in H. Suppose not. Then there exists MW such that M and W are free vertices.
Usually they are unmatched in M.
Yeah. There should exist at least one because it's not a maximal matching. Then MW is a blocking pair in the stable matching M of G. Then I am claiming that MW will be a blocking pair in the stable matching M of G. Right? Is it clear?
That's just because they would have got married, right? Because they are on the list of each other.
Yeah, because MW is there is an edge between them. That means they and they are not matched. Sorry. You want to say something?
Oh no, I mean I am saying that they prefer each other over their current partners because they don't have any current partner.
Exactly, and that means they will be a blocking pair. So that means that's why we can claim that every stable matching is a maximal matching. Okay. So this claim is correct. Sorry, no. What is the claim? Yeah, this claim is correct. Okay. So every stable matching, if we consider any stable matching, it is a maximal matching. Is it clear now?
Yes.
Okay, great. So now if we come back to our case, so suppose M-opt is the optimal solution for
Yeah,
the
I have a class now. I have to just I have
Okay.
a class from 2 o'clock or something. I have to take my lunch and then so
Okay, so maybe just one or 2 minutes. I'll just finish these two lines. Okay, so AMOPT is a optimal solution, and it is a maximal matching because of this property. And suppose AMALG is the any solution that we get from the stable matching instance that we know we can find in a polynomial time using the modified Gale-Shapley algorithm. So AMALG is also a maximal matching. So since both of them are maximal matching, that's why AMOP divided by AMALG is equal to will be less than or equal to 2.
How do you get the 2? Like, why is it
Bec-
the case that the size of any maximum matching is within?
so
factor two?
basically the reason is um,
So we can just take symmetric difference of them.
no. So
No?
okay, so AMOPT is a maximal matching. Suppose M is the maximum matching. So the ratio between AMOPT and M will be 2.
Yeah. So why is that 2?
Because okay, so there is another thing that says that the size of the maximum matching can be at most twice the size of the maximal matching.
So for that, I was saying that you can take the symmetric difference of maximal and maximum,
Yes,
and you'll get cycles, and you can.
exactly. Okay, so we'll finish this part maybe at 3 p.m. and after that we'll go to the new part, the stable matching with one-sided.
Or
Sorry,
like-
not matching with preferences with one-sided preferences. Okay. So we meet at 3.
Okay.